This is the Inside Scoop with Alex and Jess.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. Let's go, man. How are you, bud?
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
I had a good 4th of July weekend. It was a
Awesome.
fun time. What about you?
Yeah, same. Just chill time. And then I ended up doing a tournament on Sunday, so that was interesting as well. So.
Yeah, I remember you telling me, like you sent me a text and you were going to be competing. You were like in the finals though, right? What was it like?
Yeah. So I won my two divisions. I won the musical division and the traditional division. So the two divisions I did, and it was like a live event, like on Zoom. So I'm just sitting in my karate school for about 3 to 4, maybe 5 hours.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, and just sitting there and just thinking, okay, well, I could be doing other things. All right, so what am I going to be doing with my time right now while I'm waiting? And then all of a sudden, randomly, oh, hey, now your division's up. Oh, crap, So it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. And then I'm just watching the other competition, and it's just like I'm laying on my back and just kind of chilling and waiting.
I mean, it's no different than what we actually do at tournaments. The difference
right, but you can actually go and talk to other people and hang out. Exactly. You don't feel like that like you actually see it happening, right? So if my division just popped up like, hey Jeff, where you at? Oh, all right, he's not here. Boom, that's it. Like, oh,
it goes like that.
It can, yeah. I mean, they were good about trying to find people, but they had kind of when they found out I was competing, they kind of tried to like hype it up that I was there. So so it was kind of like.
So if it was me, then it'd be like, oh yeah, Alex, this whatever.
No, they still would have hyped it up.
Skip this joker.
Anyway, so I did that, and then I did the grands, and just the whole time, like I'm listening to the judges and everything, so you could hear what the judges are saying, and they're and I'm trying to message the promoter and the head of the league that runs it, like, hey, you need to like have these guys like mute themselves during these forums, because all you have to do is the competitor should be should be the only one that has their volume up, and they're on the speaker view on Zoom, and that's it. But that wasn't happening.
By now, everybody in the world knows how it operates.
Right, and it wasn't doing that, and everyone was just like, hey, all right, this is the person we're looking at. He's at this column, just stared at that small screen. I'm like, guys, like, you could get it to the big one, So that was something I kept telling.
Please tell me one of the judges was just like staring at like the camera with their whole face in
Some
there.
Some of them were.
Oh,
yeah.
My goodness.
So when that happened, I just kind of knew.
That's great.
This is going to. Why am I doing this? What because the grand champion winner got $500.
Oh, I would have said that right away. After I'd been waiting for 25 minutes, I'd have been like,
yeah, I'm like, oh,
it's a beautiful day outside.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah. I was just thinking about, hey, an extra $500 would be kind of nice right now. All right, let's go.
Never mind, I'd have stayed. If I was Jeff Doss, I would have stayed.
But and then I didn't know that it was a tournament that was letting their defending champion, compete. So I did 2 divisions, and then Marco Johnson had won the division the year before, right? The grand year before.
Good competitor.
So great competitor. He gets to come in without competing and just go last in the grands.
Oh, so kind of like the Karate Kid.
Right. All right.
All right.
So Karate Kid 3, by the way. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Karate Kid 3.
And so
which, by the way, Fist Kicks and Flicks, they need to do like all 3 of the Karate Kid movies at one point. They should just do them like pop, pop, pop.
Oh, right in a row? I think so.
Wouldn't that be
there's
fantastic?
More than 3. We really need to see the 4th.
Be honest. Let's be honest. They got 3. They got 3.
Yeah. We don't need to see
the other 17 don't
count. So anyway, so that kind of happened. And in my when I was doing traditional division, there were 7 competitors, pretty decent, competitors. It was a good one. Most of the judges were from Texas, from the AOK League, which is let's just call it what it is. It's a very old school league. Okay, they were they just got rid of groin kicks last year. All right, so let's just okay. So I'm sitting there, and one judge
something to talk about that,
gives every competitor a 9.8. He gave me a 9.8, and then he gave every other competitor the 9.8, and then he gave one random competitor a 9.9.
Because who's going to really be upset about a 9.8?
Right.
Nobody's going to be, completely disrespected by.
But it's just like, come on, man. Like, what are you here to do? Like, I understand maybe. All right, I just want to choose my number one. I kind of get that, but at the same time, you're screwing everybody else up.
It actually makes the least sense because I could see because sometimes you try to get in the thought process of what in the world is that judge thinking? You think that sometimes, and then sometimes you're like, okay, no, I actually am going to try to think. What are they thinking?
Right.
At a tournament, like a physical in-person tournament, you can like, what is their goal? Like, all right, they probably just want to be around,
Yeah.
I don't want to say it, but maybe feel important.
Yeah.
Be in it.
Yeah.
There's none of that. There's none of that in this one. So I don't.
So all of this is going on. I win both of my divisions, but like in grands, I go. Let's see, second. Well, I actually ended up going first because the person who was supposed to go first, they had an arbitration in the middle because he was actually a breaker and he was upset that he didn't get to be in the grand. So apparently, that was a whole to do. So I went first and then I went like 6th or 7th because I won musical forms and Korean and they let me do both, which was cool. Especially since I needed to do both because I had no clue where they were going with this, right? And so I did that. This same judge gave me 9.2. And
stop.
Yeah, and then gave everybody else a 9.2 until I do my Korean form. And he gives you a 9.8, and everyone else gives you 9.99. I'm like, all right, I lost. And so what happened was, bam, Marco goes last, and guess what? Everyone gives him a 9.99. They weren't dropping high and low. They were just going straight at it. I knew that the other 4 judges didn't want to make a decision, and this one didn't really want to make a decision on the other stuff, but he knew as soon as he saw that broadsword, he was going. So, no, Marco did an awesome form. Not like it was just that my problem is just when judges don't make a decision, just especially when you know who your top 2 are, and you're like, all right, let's do it. Let's. I gotta decide. I think that's your job to make a decision, at least on the top 2. If you want to give 5th through 8th the same score, whatever. But top 4, like give different scores.
Because if you're not giving them a different score, then it's almost like that little bit of Office Space. What would you say you do here?
Yeah. And really, again, like I was saying, guess what it came down to? One judge.
You know what I mean?
I know that sounds awful. It wasn't a very good one, but I'm just saying, like, it comes down to one judge, and that's what sucks. So, man, I shouldn't say that word. I'm sorry. My mom will kill me for saying that word.
For real?
Oh, dude. I used to have to wash my own mouth out with soap if I said the sucks word.
They'd make you do it yourself?
Well, it was probably better if I did it myself.
Oh, good point.
Yeah.
Because
like,
you're not going to...
And I would make her so mad because she'd be like, I'm going to wash your mouth out. So I'm like, I got it. And I would just do it myself.
I never got that. I think my aunt did that one time. And I thought I was going to get whooped. And she told me like, oh no, we're going to put a soap in your mouth. I'm like, that's I didn't, you don't, that's the trick. You don't say anything. In my mind, I'm like, gee, that's a lot less painful.
Yeah.
Just like try to hover it just around your lips. Don't like bite into it, obviously. My mom, dude. My mom, I'll give you some context. My mom's from Sicily, does not speak any Italian anymore. Okay? It's just really interesting. Although, if you've ever met my mom, you would go, all right, I get it now. Now Alex makes sense. Right? Because, like we mentioned a couple pods ago, I don't have the Minnesota accent. It's going to be impossible to obtain. I don't have the Minnesota nice personality. All right. I'm extremely animated. It doesn't fit. All right. But if you met my mom, you would go, I get it. I get it now. Anyway, so I'll never forget this. We'll move on because we're obviously ranting at this point.
Well, yeah, but it's good ranting. I like it.
My dad was the enforcer. Like he didn't have to actually physically do anything. It was just so intimidating that you heard the stomp from like the other side of the house.
Right.
And you were like, boom, you scattered, like roaches. You're like, you're all of a sudden you're in your bed, not moving. Right. Whatever it was that you were doing didn't matter. But at this point, I know my dad's not home. Now I'm old enough. I'm probably like, I don't know, 8, 9, something like that. I don't know. And I'm like, this is Mom. Like,
Yeah.
So I ran from her in the house still. And at one point, we're running around a bed. And she's like losing it. Just the more I'm running, the more she realizes she's not going to get me, the more she's foaming at the mouth. At one point, I stop and I go, Mom, you are never going to get me.
Wow.
And she loses it. Now, here was my demise. As I start teasing her, because I know, like, there's no way, like, you're not going to catch me. So I start teasing her. So sure enough, I put my foot out there a little too much. She catches me. She drags me into the kitchen. At this point, you know you're going to get whooped. All right? For anybody who still gets a whooping and you want to know how to get out of it, doesn't matter how much they hit you. You scream like you're actually dying. You scream like you're actually dying. Like
don't do
whatever
what
it is that they hit you with, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die, right?
Yeah.
So my mom was notorious for the wooden spoon. That's the thing. And Italians, you would understand, everybody's got, at least a dozen of them in the house. Okay.
Right.
So he's got them, and then she just takes my bare butt. I'm over her knee, just bam. She's going to town. Now I'm screaming. It's bad. It's not quite that bad. The spoon breaks. You would think I would have learned at this point. I didn't learn.
Wow.
Without skipping a beat, I go, ha ha.
Wow.
You can't get me now.
Oh, man.
Problem. We're still right in front of that drawer. You know the drawer in your kitchen where it's got a whole bunch of different, like, kitchen. It's got, like, the spatula. It's got the tongs. It's got all those other utensils. So she's reaching for something, she doesn't want anything metal, So she grabs a wire whisk. I kid you not, a whisk. And she's just beating my butt like she's beating eggs.
Oh, my God.
Never again.
Yeah.
No, not gonna. Heck no. After
that. Wow. That sounds very similar to, like, different way, but a story with my dad. So I don't know if I've told this or not, but so I live in the country, right? So and growing up, we only had one bathroom. So I had, we had 4 or 5 people there. So it's like, like we had, when you got to go, like, there's always someone in there. So you got to wait. So I will go outside. We live in the country. We have like 5-6 acres. I just go behind the tree and pee. Well, my dad's rolling up from the store that he just got, like, some hamburger meat, right?
This is a total country story right here.
Yeah.
Everybody in a country town has this. Normally they're like vacation towns.
But he gets out and he's like yelling at me, "What are you doing? Why are you doing that in front of other people?" I'm like, there's no one around me. But, like, on the other side, way where no one even could see me, was, like, we had, like, a trampoline, and there was the neighbors and my brother jumping. They couldn't even see whatever. I made sure I knew how to do this, right? I knew, I've been doing this for a while. I was maybe 12, right? So
you were a veteran.
I was a veteran, So he gets out and he starts chasing me, and I pull him up and just start running around.
Oh no!
And we're running around the whole house, the whole area, and he can't catch me. And he's just
this is gonna be bad.
And he's just like, forget this. And then I run all the way to, like, right in front of the trampoline to where, and he just, forget this. And he gets the frozen hamburger meat and chucks it and hits me in the back, and I drop. And he's just like, gotcha. And I'm just like, what the heck are you doing? Oh, man. And then,
that was a fantastic.
What are y'all two doing again? Yeah, it was great. So that's always the funny thing is, like, we just joke about that. Make sure he doesn't have the frozen hamburger meat.
Wow.
Again. Yeah. So
I halfway thought you were going to say. I halfway thought you were going to say he shot you with a BB gun.
No.
Which also sucks. That has been done.
No, but there's more stories to come out with my dad. My dad's a crazy guy. So. Yeah.
Dang. Where the heck did we go? We were talking about.
I don't know, but this was fun. So, anyways, we had a great July 4th weekend. I'm sure you probably did some crazy stuff that I did. I didn't.
I'm so glad Fourth of July is over. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I'm done with the half sticks of dynamite.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's the only downside. I gotta tell you, there's downsides. We can't gather,
Right.
we can't have the big firework display. I like that. Everybody likes it. I don't typically love the crowds because I mean it doesn't matter where you are out here in the Chicagoland area. There's 8.5 million people in the Chicagoland area. Right?
Wow, that's
so
insane.
There's just traffic everywhere you go. Right?
Right.
There's just shy of 3 million people in the city of Chicago alone. Right?
Right.
It's freaking nuts. Right? Yada yada. Anyway. So that part I was like, well, I have to deal with driving and parking. I don't want to deal with that because it's going to be late. The kids are going to be wanting to go to bed. We're going to sit up there. Explosions are going to scare them. I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, of course.
However, we're at home and we're dealing with explosions. You know how many different types of explosion wrappers and bottle rockets and stuff I had to pick up out of my yard?
It's crazy.
I have a almost complete circle of dead grass. Because there was a firecracker, whatever, came and didn't fly right, landed in my backyard, and then just exploded.
Yeah,
it looks like a tiny UFO landed in my backyard.
Wow.
So I'm done with that. That needs to be done. But it was fun. I tell you what, it was pretty cool, man. I had a friend's birthday party on Friday. Oh man, you know how you go to like one of your friends' parties and they're just like the best host ever. So his buddy Frank, right? He's a paisan as well. His name's Francesca. Of course.
Right? His name's Frank. So
yeah, so he's the coolest guy. He decides, I know what I want to do. I want to do a blind bourbon tasting. Like we're all just gonna do that, and I'm like, all right, I can get on top. I can get on that train. And it was fun, and there were all brands that, like, if anybody's had one before, like notable ones, and then we're trying to guess. Everybody got it wrong, and like the one that was like the consensus, like without a doubt, this is the best. None of us had ever heard of before. All the rest of them were like ones that we would pay top dollar for. Yada yada. So I was like, all right, that was fun and interesting.
That's cool.
It was like, he's such an awesome host, right? Yeah. Like so awesome, like the charcuterie plate. Am I saying it? Is it charcuterie or charcuterie? One of those. You know, the ones with the cheese and the meats and everything. I could hover over those. I could hover over that stuff for hours.
Yeah,
like,
I don't. I used to be like that too, man. Now I don't eat cheese anymore, so it's awful.
Oh, man, you're missing out. I'll take it. I don't care.
I'm at the veggie tray.
Yeah. See ya. All right. So we're just hanging out over that, and then randomly he'll just be like, "Hey, do you want some honey with that?" I'm like, honey? What are you talking about? Oh, babe, give me the honey. Give me the honey. I'm like, what are you talking about, Zach? Yeah, let's put some honey on the brie. And I'm like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
Right, this guy, and then he's just fantastic. And he's like, babe, let's get some more prosciutto. Come on, let's get some more.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, can't believe it. This guy's great. Makes his own wine.
Oh wow.
Makes his own. All right. So makes his own wine, and his white wine is it's the best I've ever had. Right.
Wow.
So my wife also works part-time at a winery, in a winery restaurant. We can get just about anything. Okay. Yeah. Frank's is the best. Wow. It's the best. All right.
That's awesome. So
it's
cool.
like that. You don't get a headache. It's fantastic. Now here's where it went bad. Okay. So Frank also fancies it from time to time having a cigar. I don't know anything about cigars. All I know is if Frank tells me the cigar is good, I not only know it's good, it's probably one of the best in the world. Yeah. Sure enough, that's what this one was. All right. I thought, let's test him out. Because he knows I don't know. Right. So I take a picture of it. I send it to another buddy of mine who knows this. And he's like, oh man, you're about to have a fantastic night. And I'm like, all right. Now the thing is you can't actually inhale that. It needs to just kind of swirl around your mouth and get rid of it. So I had to get going home. I had to let the babysitter go. I'm like, man, I gotta get home. And Frank's like, just take the cigar with you. After you let the babysitter go, just hang out, have it at home. I said, that's a fantastic idea. So I'm hanging out outside. I got the monitors out. I can see the kids. I know they're okay. Something happened. I did something, must have inhaled something. I inhaled the cigar smoke.
Oh
Worst
God.
time. I thought I was going to die. I thought I was going to actually die.
Yeah. You
It
don't
was
want to do
totally
that.
unintentional. Oh my
You don't want to
goodness.
do that. The other thing is you don't want to smoke a cigar on an empty stomach either, because you will
that
throw up.
definitely did not happen. That's never going to happen with Frank. Dude's got his own brick oven, pizza oven.
Nice.
Just decided like, yeah, I think that would be great for partying. Yeah, you think? Be fantastic. I'm always going over to your house. I'm gonna throw a party at your house, guy.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is fun.
that was a fun time.
That's fun, man. So a couple things. All right. So I just something to go ahead and get into in the beginning, before we don't forget. I just announced myself and Sue Diaz. I'm going to do a seminar series 2 weekends in a row. So we're going to do July 25th, a kick mania. So working on kicks for
That's a Saturday.
creativity and creative forms, traditional forms, all that. And the next week we're going to work on kicks for Korean forms. So focusing on, well, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, give them a little
but
sneak
like
peek.
the traditional aspect of kicks and how that can help you in everything, right? But one of the main goals is really to shine more light on the Korean division and help those Korean style competitors understand how to be successful within sport martial arts and sport karate. And this will lead into another project I'm doing. And then I have another project I'm doing. I have several different online courses coming and also group sessions that are going to be coming up as well. So this is going to be kind of the kickoff to it. So we'd love
No
if you
pun
guys,
intended.
yeah, we'd love if you guys support me. And if you guys have enjoyed all the free stuff I've been putting out, the stretches every day.
The stretching tips have been great.
And then the Monday classes that I've been doing with sport martial arts. Would love if you guys supported the seminar. And again, you're not going to get the same stuff. You're going to get extra things and all kinds of stuff.
Hey, let's give them a little nugget, Jeff. Give them something like, what's something that you might talk about in either the Korean aspect or the creative aspect, that maybe just one little nugget that maybe they might not know, or just maybe an area where you're going to address differently.
Right. So I'm going to really focus on the straight kicking part. A lot of how to really do multiple kicks, and just some ways to make that a little bit more appealing to the judge's eye. And then how to actually adapt that, how that helps you in other areas too. If you can move while you do your kicks, then you're going to be great in forms and fighting, because you have to adjust, right?
You have to.
So there's that. With the traditional part, I'm going to focus a lot on like why the Taekwondo may not work in some places, and maybe the ways that you just need to tighten up, that the judges maybe, it's not, they look at it differently. Some of it is ignorance. Some of it is just, comparing to Japanese. So again, we say the term sport martial arts, but really most of us really call it sport karate. Let's be honest, right? So
we talked about that,
right?
I think a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
About why there is an actual reason why we said karate when we saw martial arts.
Right.
His name was Fumio DeMarco. Yeah.
Yeah. And we can go right into what we did last week. So let's talk about our show with Jerry. And I'll be honest, like right before we started this, I was able to finally get the video to work so I could see the video that we just put out, the clip. And man, that was a good clip. Thanks, Travis, for putting that out. That was fun.
I had to go back and listen to it. Jerry,
I had forgotten about it.
He put so much content out there in one show. We basically had like 2 shows of content.
Right.
And he just kept going.
What's weird? We freaking ended early. Like we got done in an hour and a half. We never get done in an hour and a half, especially on our interviews.
Right. Good point. If you take an interview with someone like Jerry and me, talking, and we ended at an hour and a half, like, come on now, is that possible? I know, but he jam packed so much in there, And at one point, I remember, and when I listened back to the show, I went, "Okay, wait a minute, you had a lot of stuff out there to kind of unpack."
Oh yeah.
But and there's some stuff that just happened that like it went over my head. It was just too much.
Yeah.
So one of the things, what did you think about when Jerry said, I know how we got to the hotels where we were doing tournaments in hotels. We should have been doing them in hotels. I don't know. What do you think about that? Us being in hotels versus like convention centers. What do you think?
So this was all right. He didn't really get into it, but he kind of poked at it. And
he did.
So we can have him for another one, and especially when I get this other person that I'm going to talk about maybe on the show one day.
Yeah.
But that's kind of one of the Boy Slidell things of the NBL was to have a tournament in the hotel, because you can actually have a big ballroom space, and the idea is they'll give you the space for free if you book enough rooms, right?
Right.
And that was something that he really made big in his era. And that's something that he still to this day does. So people can say however they want about, even if Super Grands only has 100 people at it, if you have 100 rooms booked, or even more than that, actually, because you really think about it, right? You're probably going to have 200 rooms booked on a holiday weekend. You don't have to pay for your ballroom, because guess what? They weren't going to have anything going on that holiday weekend. So they went from having nothing going on. Now they have your event. They have something going on, and you gave them profit. So that was a Boy Slidell type thing. And there's several things, even in that video before, talking about how NBL was the first one in many years to give 1,000, except for Super Grands. And really, it took Super Grands 10 more years to give overall Grands. And when they came back in 2007, they were given $2,000 for overall Grands in it. So there was the little digs in there, and even talking about how when we started the NBL. So he has his opinion and his view, his perspective of the NBL. And the conversation him and Boyce had starting it. And Boyce, of course, has his. And, I think there's a lot of truths on both sides. So we'd love to hear both sides and kind of get that going. So for me, I know that there's a lot of things like that, So with the hotels part, I think that was part of that, And, as a promoter, that's where you can learn how to, I don't want to say manipulate the system, but you got to learn how to be a businessman, right? So if not, you don't make any money. So, with a convention center, they're not going to give you that for free unless you find something else, another way. So
let's look at it, because I think where you're talking about, like, that was a real great plan that you came up with, a good blueprint for a lot of people to follow, and it's been successful. But I guess the question I was getting at is, what do you feel like is a better scenario?
So
having something in like a convention center where they find their hotel, or having it in the hotel?
I think having a convention center most of the time is better, like space wise, and it's set up for fans viewing better. The best idea is those convention centers that have a hotel like ring right around them, right? Or the hotels that are connected, right? That's kind of one of the best. But don't you like being able to go from like your room and just get down the elevator and go to competition?
So let's talk about that for a moment. What were some of your favorite tournaments to be at, tournament venues to be at?
That's hard.
I can think of a couple.
The Galt House.
That was bingo.
The Galt House.
But I gotta say, I don't think the Galt House was so great because the hotel was so great. It was just like, okay. I think where it was located. It was big, but I think the location as to where it was,
the setup of it, was great. I liked that I could go.
And the fact that they had two really big towers,
right? And I could go to the Louisville Slugger Museum. That was awesome.
Yeah, the Muhammad Ali Museum was like literally across the street. That
right,
was cool.
And then the White Castle right down there. It was great.
Funny thing is, I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah. Anyways, that was a great one. Man, I mean, there's so many hotels. Honestly, like
I liked
man,
I liked the finals where the Diamonds was up until 2007.
yeah,
From
like the
98 to
convention center, the big,
2007,
huge, yeah,
they had the huge one there. Everybody loved that one, right? And I
97, I
actually
think.
liked
Yeah, 97 was
90,
the first year.
97. It was in a different one. It was in
But it
the
was a
St. Paul
big
Civic
state.
Center. It
But
was
it was
very,
a
very big.
big,
Yeah, it was very, very big.
Yeah.
It got tore down right after that.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And they built the XL Energy Center in the
Got
Roy
it.
Wilkins Auditorium.
Yeah.
But I liked the convention center where they had it in the River Center, and then underneath they had that auditorium,
Right.
which was fantastic. Now they also had a
You just had
tournament
to walk in there.
hotel. You
Right.
had to walk a block and a half.
Right.
Now, sometimes in October in Minnesota, that might not be fantastic. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
I'll never forget one year, Marcel Jones was staying with me, right? Because I was living there. And this dude's from Atlanta, and he's outside, and he can see his breath.
Oh,
and it's,
man.
And it's trippy to him. And he's like, whoa, man.
Yeah.
My roommate and I are dying, right? Because they're like, buddy, who knows? Tomorrow there might be snow on the ground.
Yeah.
That's a true thing there.
Did
right?
it happen?
Oh, there's been plenty of times.
No,
I
I
mean,
I know it had been plenty of times. I'm just saying, like, did it happen
Oh,
that year?
no,
No.
it didn't happen that year.
I've
Now-
been there before where it was like up to like my knee
Yeah, there was a
when
blizzard.
it was like 94, 95, something like that.
96.
Yeah,
There was
96,
a
that's when it was,
massive
yep.
blizzard.
Yep.
But I actually, and I hate the walk. I hate the cost of the hotel.
But you
But
like
the
US
convention,
Open.
but the convention center at the U.S. Open.
Yeah, I knew where you're going.
I like it. I don't. It's the most expensive hotel,
Yeah.
and I hate
You're right.
that it's a 25-minute walk when you're already on
Yeah.
site to
Right.
get from Casitas 3. Right.
And then it's gonna rain at least 3 times while you're there. You're
Oh,
gonna have
yeah.
to run and
And it ain't even like a little
Yeah.
rain. It's like a mini monsoon.
Right.
Right. And you're just like, I hope those gators stay in the lake there. Right. So yeah, but there's Jeff. Come on, there's stuff that I'm missing. What's the best one?
What's another one? So for me, all right. So the
I'm trying
two
to think
times
outside
that
the box.
right. Well, all right. The 2 times at Super Grands was in Savannah. That was freaking awesome. That
I've heard a
hotel
lot
was
about
great.
this.
And the finals was in the atrium. And so you could be in your room if you had a balcony room
Yeah.
and watching the finals, which is great.
Yeah.
We did the same thing in 2015.
Did you say 2?
No,
Oh,
2000.
okay.
It's 15 or 16. I think it was 16. It was in Winston-Salem. It was the same type thing, right? It was at MZ
Sure.
Suites there. And that was really cool. And for me, competing, I thought was great because I had never felt like that energy. Like there's just everyone all around, just, they're like right on top of you, which is way different compared to Savannah. Savannah, everyone was far away. But in Winston-Salem, it was really tight. So the stage was like, you only had maybe enough for 100 people to sit in the area. All the other viewing was from the balconies. And it was like doing your form like those movies where they had the, almost like a Fight Club type thing.
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
had the people. And
There's
it was
a lot of people that
nuts.
tried to replicate that. Yeah.
It was nuts, man. It was really, really freaking cool.
That was good.
So that was
That's
cool.
Now, have you ever been to the
Hotels
Quebec Open?
in Mexico, yes, and hotel in Quebec. So Mexico
ever been to that one?
hotels, Acapulco, and both times I've been to Acapulco, amazing hotels.
Yeah, I heard it was really good.
Yeah, and then Quebec, when I went, was 2001. So the hotel is probably not the same as what it was when I was there.
Sure.
I don't know. I mean, it was nice.
The one I'm missing is the Irish Open. It's pretty good. The only thing I don't like about is the City West area is great. The hotel's good. It's got a real throwback, nostalgia type of feel to it.
Yeah.
The convention center is great. The only thing I don't love is you're plopped right in this one area where there's nothing to do. Now,
Yeah.
there is a train you can get on that brings you to downtown Dublin or wherever else you need to go.
But
I mean, we're martial artists.
Right.
We don't really do that much.
Correct.
You could take a cab over to like a little shopping mall area if you need to get some stuff. But do we really do that often? Probably not. Let's be honest. When we go to tournaments, we're spoiled. We want to be able to walk a maximum of 3 blocks to get whatever it is that we want.
Yeah.
And we want a lot of it. Oh, so then speaking of that, what am I? I'm missing it.
I like
the Gaylord Hotel.
Capital Classics, man.
I gotta tell you, that's probably the best. As far as the
really
area,
good. I think it's overpriced. The area is really nice, but I even liked it better at the older hotel back in the early 90s or the late 90s. And that hotel was just as nice. I can't think of the name of it. It was just as nice and extravagant.
Yeah, Gaylord's pretty dang good.
And you walk outside and you have like maybe 2 blocks till Chinatown or something right there, which was pretty cool.
That's cool.
And you got great food, but it was in the DC, like real DC area. So
yeah,
man, we can go on and on about this because this is fun stuff.
This is a topic we totally didn't even think we were going to get on.
Another one is the Kalahari. Love the Kalahari.
Yeah.
The Kalahari.
I like the Kalahari. Because when you're at the Infinity National Championships in Wisconsin Dells, there's everything in that area. It's okay. The Wisconsin Dells is like the water park capital of the country, right? There's a water park for every resort in that entire city area.
Yep.
And the Kalahari is probably the best one. It's probably the best resort of all of the ones around there. There's great ones. There's Wilderness. There's all sorts of other ones. They got their own dang movie theater. Yeah. Right? They got go-karts. They got laser tag. It's in that hotel. It's everything. Yeah. So that's a good one. Yeah. The Kalahari, Mike Welch and Jeff Orlowski have a good thing going with the Kalahari. Yeah. They're not going to leave that place. That's awesome.
Anytime I've gone to Vegas, we always grew up going to the Tropicana. So, and then when Apple had her tournament there, Cincinnati Rumble, it ended up being the Tropicana. And a lot of people didn't really like the Tropicana, but man, it brought back so many like memories to me as like a kid going there when I was 10, and it was just cool, just all the long walks. You felt like you were walking forever to get to everywhere, but I really enjoyed it. I always liked the Tropicana, and it just keeps getting better and better. And of course, there's other hotels there, but Vegas, you can't beat Vegas, man.
Yeah, I would have to say that.
Yep. Oh, and one more. Well, no, that hotel was awful, but the actual venue was cool. All right, the venue was cool, and same thing with Toronto. So Toronto, and then Houston. When we go to Houston, we got to compete in the Astrodome. That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And then when we were in Toronto, we got to compete in one of their big domes. But the hotel was one of the worst hotels I've ever been in my life.
All right, so let's just do this. What's the worst one you've ever been to?
I hate to do this to my buddy, but Corky Sykes Hotel in Jekyll Island. Actually, it wasn't in Jekyll Island. It was the first or second year he brought it to Jessup, Georgia. And it was just bad. My clothes smelled like sewage for like a week or something. Oh. Yeah, it was bad. So I ended up just staying at his house instead. And, that ended up being bad too. But at least that was,
So this is not one I was at. That I've heard horror stories about this. This tournament was kicked off the circuit before the second day of the tournament even started. That's how bad it was. Was the Empire State Nationals in 2000 when they were on they were in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, so that was bad too.
And I wanted to go so bad. Like, oh man, it's gonna be Madison Square Garden. MSG, man, you gotta be kidding me. We'll be right there.
It was cool being in the hallway and be like, man, we're about to go in.
Then that's all you got to.
Yeah. Like,
now you were there, right?
Yeah,
you were there?
I went. It was the only tournament ever that I didn't go to the finals for. I was so upset and just kind of like,
Wow, you know it's been a bad experience if Jeff Doss won't go.
Right. I didn't even go to the finals. And it was at another like theater or something, which I think the setup was kind of cool, but so many people like were bowing out, didn't want to go.
Because it was that bad.
Right. You know, and part of it was probably me just being a poor sport too. It was the first time I had lost my division in like a year and a half or something too. I had a good like streak of winning traditional forms, and it was just kind of odd, just the way, you know, I'm just like moved up to the new division, and you know, maybe you're just frustrated, you're trying to figure it out, and then all the other stuff happens at the tournament that is awful, and you're like, you know what? Let's just hang out. So I remember like my family, Stephanie Flowers and her family, Spencer Arrington, the sponsor. We were just hanging out in the room and just talking and having fun, and you know, it was just
That's what you got to do, man.
yeah,
You got
I
to
mean,
find
just,
ways to beat
yeah.
bad karate tournaments. You know what I used to do? I kid you not. I used to bring PlayStation 2 to karate tournaments, and we would play NBA Live. All right. Now they don't even make
That's
NBA
cool.
Live. They make 2K.
See,
we would play NBA Live, and or Madden.
The best thing about me going to the U.S. Open as a kid, knowing that in the hotel they had their own, in every room they had their own places. Like, do you remember that gaming system?
Yeah.
And
it cost you. Wouldn't it cost like $316
I don't think it
to
cost.
play?
No,
I
it
have
didn't
no
cost
idea.
any. But they had all the stuff, and we played like Mario Kart and stuff like that.
Did you? All right.
Yeah, it was fun.
I didn't know that.
Oh man.
Well,
So,
hey, should we get into the next topic?
yeah, I mean, we may not even have to do it much today, but we can just talk a couple little bit about everything, and then go into our competitors of the week, and
let's do it, man.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about it. So we were talking a little bit off air about really what some of the struggles are in martial arts.
Right.
That people tend to go through, or maybe what some of the struggles that we have are. So,
right.
Tell me what some of the thoughts you have on that are.
So for me, when I think of that, like as a martial arts instructor, what belt rank do you feel like is where people start thinking about quitting?
Brown belt.
Okay, I would say green because it's kind of the middle range, but I guess it depends on where you're at. But that green-blue range, and I guess it depends on how long.
There's a couple of different times.
Yeah, but you got to get over that. That is one of them. But it's like that 2-year phase, right? When they've been in for 2 years, that's kind of where it's kind of like, all right, you know, or a year and a half, right?
Yeah.
And so that's something that you see, and you got to recognize as a martial arts instructor, and you also got to recognize as a parent. And I think as a martial arts instructor, you need to let their parents know that this is probably going to happen, because guess what? The time between belt tests gets longer. The stuff they have to know gets harder. They feel like they're doing the same thing because, we want them to actually get better at this stuff, not just learn new things. And that's kind of what I've been talking about this week in my class was, what's the difference in practice and training? You know, practice is just you remembering it. I don't want you to remember it. I want you to train it to where it becomes part of you. And that's hard to let a kid know. You know what I mean?
It's so hard to do that and to just let those things happen because you and I, let's be honest, Jeff, if you and I never advance another rank in our life, we will be just fine.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, of course.
I'll be just fine my whole life.
Right.
If nobody ever says my rank or addresses me as a rank for the rest of my life.
Correct.
It will make no impact on my life whatsoever.
Right.
So we are at the stage where we want people to be at. That's the goal, is to get them to be. But what's a pro and a con is the advancement, right? The regular advancement.
Yeah.
Where they're looking for that. Like, what do I have to do to get that? What do I have to do to get there? Which is a good thought.
No, it
is. Them thinking about, all right, in order to get this, you're going to have to do this. Okay, good. All right. Well, sometimes the problem is just they're going for just that legalistic check this box.
Hey, I did this. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. Hey, I did this.
Well, I know the form. Have you looked at it? Have you looked at it though? It's not your best.
It's hard to get them to feel what that's supposed to feel like.
Correct.
And the hard part about from the instructor standpoint is that we have to give the same verbal message to 40 different people, maybe in a class. I don't know. There's some people who have more, some, a lot of people have less, who all learn differently.
Exactly.
How are you going to do that? Tell me how you're going to do that.
And then we talk about it right now when you have those, let's say 20 in a class, and then you have 5 to 10 online that are watching the same time, and you're trying to reach all of them at once. It's really hard. I was frustrated as heck tonight, man, because my office lady wasn't able to make it, so it was just me at the school. And
what kid was messing up in class? Who was messing up in class today? Call them
everybody. It was just one of those things, man. It was just like trying to explain to everybody, what's going on. And it's tough,
Jason,
you're like, man, I gotta have this, And
I don't even know if there was a Jason in the class, but he was messing up.
Yeah, sure, Jason. We don't have Jason today. So, but yeah, so I mean, it's really tough right now, to do that, to really just reach them in the way that they need to be reached. And that's where, you tell them, listen, you can't do the minimum to become something that's great. Being a black belt is extra. You know what I mean? Really, when you really think about it, it's extra. So you can't expect to do 2 days a week, normal class, and then get a black belt. You need to do private lessons. You need to do this. And the way to really, like, I think the hard part is where people just think, oh, you're just pushing more stuff on me. Like, no, like, guess what? 2 days a week when I was growing up or when you were growing up was not I mean, we weren't even allowed to do 2 days a week. Like, be honest, like I had to be there 4 days a week.
4 days a week.
I was there every day.
My instructor said, you have 4 days a week you have to go to.
Right.
But if I don't see you 6, there's no way.
Right. And for me, like, I went 4 or 5 days, but I was there 3 to 4 hours. Like, as soon as school ended, I was there before class ended and then after. And it was just like, I mean, I would be there after classes ended training. I would be there before. And so it's different when we're so worried about our kids getting burned out and everything. And I'm thinking, well, how in the heck do we do it? Like, and
gonna have to teach them some mental resiliency.
Right. And you got to do it as, so this week has been athlete week for me. And as soon as we started, we just start working out. And people was like, are we ever going to stretch? Is this our warm up or is this the whole class? And they start thinking, and I said, we'll see. And they just start thinking, oh God, oh God, oh God. And so 30 minutes to 35 minutes, which is what I found, it was like it's called Olympic Day workout. And it was just a lot of different great things, full body exercise and 20 seconds this, 20 seconds this, 20 seconds, 45 seconds of this. The last thing we did after we did 30 minutes of just hardcore workout was burpees. So, and I have all the kids doing this. And at the end, I'm like, breathe, relax.
Do you like doing burpees?
Do I like? I do now. Yeah. I used to not.
I hate them.
But I like them now.
Stupid.
No, the worst thing of that whole exercise is the dive bombers. Those are tough.
That's not bad.
So
I actually like those.
Oh, I like them now. But after I've done them about 4 or 5 times in 2 days. But it's just like, all right, they got through that. Then I'm just like, okay, now it's just time. I just want you to work on your form or what you're doing on your own. And I'll go around and just kind of help you a little bit, but just do it on your own. And don't ask me for, hey, what do you think should I work on? No, because I'm not going to be there for you when you really should be training.
So really trying to teach them how to be independent and really self-motivated.
Correct. So and then by the end of that day, of that class, I asked them, hey, are you as tired as you were that you thought you were 30 minutes or 10 minutes ago? No, I feel great now. Like I could do class for another 30 minutes.
They were mentally doing it themselves.
Right. And that's
good.
And man, really good. It's just it's tough because you're putting yourself at risk of scaring some people off, right? But at the same time, you know that like what's best for your students. So do what's best for your students. In the long run, that's what's going to happen,
Gotta learn.
Yeah. So anyways, I just kind of shared that.
That's a good one. See, I remember listening to one of the Fist Kicks and Flicks episodes. Mm-hmm. And Gene was saying that his best accomplishment ever was the day he got his black belt.
Right.
Right. And we're talking in a setting of people where it's like, we've won this championship, we won that championship, we whooped the heck out of that person,
Right.
dropped that guy, jump, spin, kick this dude in the face. And then he mentioned that probably likely before all of that. And I remember thinking, yeah. And he said, I think he said he slept with his black belt.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, I did the same thing.
Yeah, same.
I was like, oh my gosh, this is wild. Now,
it's insane.
Here's the thing, though. So when you mentioned every day, hours and hours. So I remember, speaking of fists, sticks, and flicks, I don't know if you heard one of the last shows. Mike was like, dude, Dingman, he's got his attention span.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, you are right on.
Yep.
Right? You're right on, man. So,
let's share what he said in the private message that he sent us. He said, I bet you sucked at hide and seek when you were a kid.
yeah, that was pretty funny.
That was a good one. That was hilarious.
That was pretty good. So, yes, I went to the cry school as soon as they opened. That was the thing. It's all right, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I was go here and figure it out. And I'm 14, right?
Right.
So I go to my instructor. I'm like, hey, what do you want me to do? And he goes, go do 20 slow kicks. So all right, did 20 slow kicks. So I walk back over to him. I'm like, all right, I did that. What do you want me to do? All right, I'm going to do whatever he says. All right.
Yeah.
Go, what do you want me to do? And he goes, go do 20 slow kicks. All right. I go do it. I go do it. Ask him again. Go do 20 slow kicks. I'm like, this guy, you kidding me? It's the most boring thing in the world. I'm about to walk over to him again, and I stop, and I'm like, this is going to be all day. All right. Apparently, this is all he wants me to do. So now I can't. I have to create some different type of challenge.
Yeah.
So all I'm doing is just I can't just stick my foot out. There's two reasons. One, that is the most, I'd rather take a dirty stick and shove it in my eye than do that. Right? That's how boring that is. Right? Two, I just can't twist from the integrity of what a kick is supposed to look like. Can't just fluff my foot out there. Right? Yep. I enjoy kicking. I want to do it well.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, let's create some games with it. I'm not going to tell everybody what that is. You gotta reach out to me if you want those.
That's
secrets.
Right.
But
same.
But they're drills that I've been continuing to refine today from that day.
Yep.
Right. And it's fantastic. Some of the best ever. All right. So, and I was just like, all right, this is what I'm doing every day. And at that point, I was extremely confident. At that moment, those are the best kicks I ever had in my entire life. There was awesome. I was not better in martial arts to that point.
Right.
All right. Before that, ever. Yeah. I was at my absolute peak and I knew it. And that's why that black belt felt so amazing. Because I knew I was going to get better at some point. Yeah. But I knew this is literally the best at martial arts I've ever been.
Right.
And I just whooped some dudes on this test, right? I felt great, right? I knew I earned it because, man, and I take some lumps, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
my test was, I mean, I don't know if I shared that or not, but it was, I think I shared on here before that I went to a tournament the day of my test.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah. So
I can't believe you did that.
And then I had an all-night tournament. So all-night test. So our test was from 7 p.m. till 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. or something. And I remember once I was done with that, we went to McDonald's to get breakfast, and I fell asleep waiting for my food, and with my belt in my hand, in McDonald's.
That's cool.
Yeah. So,
hopefully your parents got a picture of that one.
So for me, I remember getting there, and all the other testers, there were about 9 or 10, all of them asking me, "Hey, how do you do this, Jeff? How do you do this? How do you do this?" I'm teaching every person who's testing with me, reminding them how to do this. I'm coaching them for their tests, and I'm 9 years old. All right. So again, that's young. People can do whatever they want, but I was doing it, and
you were a better man than me at that point.
And I was at a tournament
now
that
I might
day.
do that.
I was at a tournament that day, I was just working my butt off, and my instructor was just kind of like, "All right, we're starting this test." He said, "I'm going to do something I've never done before. this person right here does not have to test tonight. Because he is ready and prepared for his belt test and just taught all of you guys everything you need to know for this first hour while you guys are warming up. You know, like you should be, like he almost was like, you should be ashamed of yourself that this 9-year-old is teaching you. And so he gave me my black belt right then. And I'm just like, okay.
Did you still do the test though?
Oh, heck yeah, I did the test.
All right.
And I was like, I'm doing the test, man. I came here to do it. And
That's what I'm talking about.
I killed it, dude. And I did. And I mean, it was awesome. It was weird because that's not anything I expected. You know, but man, I felt awesome. I did my form like 3 times just because they wanted to see it. Like it was like one of those things.
What?
Yeah, they were like, all right, do that again. That was so cool. Do it again. Like, you know, like
Dude,
you kind of felt, you know, like, oh, I mean, like you just kind of felt like, man, this is, you know,
yeah.
But, so yeah, I mean, it's hard to say that you feel any better than that. But I mean, I remember when I fell asleep or went hanging out after I won the U.S. Open, you know, on ESPN, that felt pretty good too, though. But,
yeah, that's pretty dang good.
Yeah, that was pretty good too. So, yeah, man.
Hey, here's something. What about this? I started thinking about this since we were talking about the struggles that we have in martial arts, just in general. A lot of it is just like the duration of it, which we kind of talked about.
Yeah.
I really started thinking about this. Like, what are some of the best parts? And I don't mean martial arts because it's like it's martial arts. A lot of it's pretty dang good.
Oh, it's
right?
so fun. Yeah.
I started thinking about it differently. All right. Instead of a what, I thought of a who. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And specifically to sport martial arts, I started thinking like over like the last 20 years, right? Yeah. Who are the best, the biggest contributors to what sport martial arts looks like today, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is it? You know what I mean? I started thinking about that. And over the last 20 years, I think Emily Cooper,
right,
and sportmartialarts.com,
done a lot.
I think without Emily, the sport looks completely different.
Correct.
And here's an example. Here's an example. Okay. So remember how, I mean, everybody does videotape their forms, right? They do that now.
Yeah.
Right. But there was a few years where people just weren't even trying to videotape.
No.
Because they were just like, no, I want to get on sportmartialarts.com, or I want to get on Masslink. I want to get on there. I want them to videotape.
I want them to,
right?
Yeah. Like,
I want them to do it. It's going to be good. Oh my gosh, man, I got on it. Right. Yeah. And it's like, you feel like you like arrived to something.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, they're watching me. They're watching me. It's just things like that.
Well, yeah, when in 2001, when they put out their first DVD that had like the best of forms, and they only picked like really the best junior forms or whatever. And really, they kind of even picked like 15, 17 division in some ways or whatever. And it was just like, for you to be on that, you're like, oh man, like, I made it, you know, it was cool.
And it was like at that point where you knew, all right, this thing's about to be something.
Yeah.
Right. So I think like sportmartialarts.com by far, all right, without them, this whole sport looks different.
Yeah.
And also Alex Reyes.
Yeah. He's done a great job.
I think Alex Reyes is one of the biggest contributors to what sport martial arts looks like.
10 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude, really?
Yeah.
I think it really even goes 20. All right. You remember, he had the website.
How long ago was that? 2007, 2006, maybe?
No. We're talking about like 2003. All right. He had that thing going. Yeah.
Fighter Forum was up that long? Okay.
It was up. It was up for a while. And it was like everybody was there. Right.
Yeah.
There was social media. People didn't really use it like they do today. So you went to websites, right? And that was like if you were in sport martial arts, you went to that website, right? Yeah. You went there all the time. So, and he had that thing. It was so brash for a while. He would take it down, bring it back up.
Yeah.
After a while, he's been kicked out of the sport.
Right.
And then brought back in and asked to give awards. He was banned from NASCA.
Right.
And then ended up giving the awards at the Diamonds.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. Pretty cool.
He's one of the coaches. He's the coach of, I think, Taco Dojo right now.
Taco Dojo,
They're like, I think they're the best team right now, right? They're the best.
Sure.
As far as men's fighting team, I would say.
Denver
right?
Impacts, yeah.
Yeah. Impex hasn't had the same kind of consistency.
Right. Well,
so
in this year, I get what you're saying, but in the past,
this year really isn't a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, I really got to think. We're really talking about 2019. So, I mean, Alex Reyes has been a major contributor. But now the other thing is, now you got to think about this one.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Chen.
Yeah. Gotta
Jason
say,
Chen. Whether
ASG,
you love or you hate ASG, you can't get around seeing it. It's there, right? And it's all about sport martial arts. It's all about sport karate competition. One of the things that's great, and I don't particularly, it's not my favorite uniform, but it's great to make your school or team uniforms out of. You can change the colors, you can change the patterns. It's really great to do that. That was one of the things. That was one of the reasons why the Hayabusa gear and uniforms didn't take off, because
it was just one thing, and it was kind of like,
they had good products too.
No, they had great products,
but
everyone that bought a uniform, they were
kind
of
like,
you
look silly.
Yeah, I'm on the team too with this guy. No, you're not.
Looks
you
like they're
just
trying
bought
to be
a
on the
uniform.
team.
Yeah,
right.
So
then it looks like they're trying to be on the team.
Yeah.
When it's like, we want them to buy the products.
Right.
Then when they buy the products, they look silly buying them and wearing the products.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So it's like,
which is
what
the
are we
same
trying to
thing
do?
that Jerry talked about last week, was like when he called it like fast feet ones or whatever first. He was like, no one's gonna buy something that I'm wearing. It's kind of like even some of the fighters that, when they had the ASG signature line, the kids are gonna buy the Raymond Daniels one. But man, if I'm fighting Raymond Daniels, I'm not gonna wear his gloves. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one of those types things, right? So yeah, I mean, so
everybody,
there
was a time, and we mentioned this last week. There was a time where everybody had a rec suit, at least one. And most of the time where it was the only uniform that people fought and competed with.
Yeah, I'm about to get some soon, man.
Are you getting a new one?
Yeah, I talked to Max, and I'm gonna call him back tomorrow and figure out how we can do it. So they got one that's pretty cool. It's like a black, royal, and white. That would be like my royal blue. That would be like my colors for my school. So it'd be cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's good.
But anyways, let's go into our competitors of the week, man.
Let's do that. But wait, I have to do. So before we do that, we have a review.
Oh, we do? I must not have checked it out. Oh man.
Listen to this. This is the subject of the review. This is the subject line. It says, Alex freaking Dingman. All right. So here's what it says. It says, I don't know Jeff too much, but he has some crazy history and knows his stuff. I have too much experience with a ding, though. Alex has been doing karate for like 100 years and still gets excited about it. It's from Throw Chop. I know who Throw Chop is.
Who is it?
That's Joe Boone.
All right.
Sure. Yeah.
Love it.
So that's pretty
I missed
cool.
that one. It's not showing up on my.
Good thing I caught it then.
Yeah. Awesome.
Because I was looking, I was like, man, are we gonna get any new ones?
Yeah. So guys,
come on,
let's
insiders.
Let's go, insiders. Yeah. All right, who's going first?
I'll go first with the competitor of the week. My competitor of the week, it's not a fighter. It's a form stylist. Competed very little in the early 2000s. Probably just done about 2001 or 2. But was really prominent in the 90s and was a wushu stylist, but was my favorite, Anthony DeMarco. DeMarco.
So much style.
So much. So there's a few names when we will watch Chinese style forms in sport karate in America, right? In that type of open martial arts setting. when you get a really good one, I mean, it's dominant.
Mm-hmm.
I have to believe the best probably look at our tournament setting and go, well, I would just kill you.
Right.
Why am I going to do that? I would just kill all of you, right?
Right.
Because the best Chinese form stylist, if there's one that's just like really, really dominant, that's good. I mean, they're dang near winning everything.
Yeah.
And there's a few of them. Over the years, we had Ming Liu, we had Dong Jingqiu,
Yep.
DX, who was Richard Brandon,
Keith Hirabayashi.
Yep.
Who's the guy that was recently?
Jorgensen.
Well, Austin Jorgensen, but also, wow, the other guy. Why are we forgetting him?
Sengao.
Yeah, there we go. Sengao. Yeah, Sengao was.
I like
yeah,
Sengao.
Sengao was good.
Sengao is cool. But out of all of them, Anthony DeMarco is my favorite, man. Anthony DeMarco, I mean, he was super cool. He had a whole different style. He was a Chinese style, but what he would wear like those tight muscle shirts when he would do his form. And I'm like, how can you get away with wearing a t-shirt?
Right.
Not only a t-shirt, you're wearing like a tight muscle shirt.
Right.
That at the time, this is in the 90s, at the time, guys would wear out to the clubs. All right. That's what they would wear.
He
and
would
this
wear
dude's
that.
competing with it in a karate tournament. And I'm like, all right, come on, guys.
And he had this b-boy style, man.
That's just where I was going to go. Right. He would do windmills and flares. Right. And it was super smooth. He did a double leg. The first time I saw him do this, I didn't understand. Like, I had to watch it back on a tape.
Yeah.
Right. But to understand what it was I saw, he did a double leg with his hands behind his back.
Yep.
And I remember looking at that going, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand how impossible that is.
Yeah,
because when you do that, you jump. First of all, you do a 2-foot gather. You go up 1, 2. It's all upper body torque.
Right.
To get you to jump.
To get you to do it.
With no upper body torque, hands behind your back.
Boom.
That's
insane.
Spoiler alert, I can't do it.
Right.
Never got it.
No, it is. And he was one of the most flexible people and strongest people I've ever seen. Like, when he did the multiple head springs, right? They just over and over with ease. And, I mean, because he did some things that Richard Brandon did a few years before, and he took him to the next level.
He did it better.
And it was really cool, and he had that style, and he was a really cool dude. I thought his forms were his best. I wasn't a huge fan of his weapons, but I thought his forms was really, really cool, man.
Do you remember his broadsword routine when the tip of his sword broke off? Oh, that was dope.
That was crazy.
He even got one judge gave him a 10.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And that I got to be honest, I'm looking at this like this guy's either because they didn't know what to do, but he's either going to get disqualified or he's going to win the whole dang thing.
Right. Yeah, he
didn't do
it. First time I met Anthony was actually he was part of the Mortal Kombat show in 95, 96 with John Valera and stuff. And so I knew him from John introduced me to him. And so, I mean, I was young, 11, 12, but really cool dude, man. And then just kind of took it to the next level. Within 2 years, he started being the champ. So.
But think about this: if he wasn't, if John Valera wasn't competing at the same time as him,
he might have had some more grands.
I think we might look at Chinese martial arts a whole lot differently because he had that appealing style and flavor. Yeah. If John Valera wasn't John Valera, or if he wasn't even there,
right?
It could be a complete paradigm shift.
Right.
The way that people would have looked
at it.
And
then
really, he had that ability.
John Valera fell in the runoffs. DeMarco ended up winning the grands, right?
Yep.
So, yep. Yeah, pretty cool, man. All right.
Tell me yours.
So, my competitor of the week is a little bit of everything. So,
yeah.
It is John Sharkey. So
I was shocked to hear this.
Yeah. So, all right. So, I wanted to go with someone that kind of did more than just compete, you know? And just if you hear now, most people hear John Sharkey now, they think the creator of a lot of champions, legends, stunt people. I mean, Side Swipe, everything. Team AKA, Mike Chat, Matt Mullins. I mean, he is the instructor of them all. And you got to give him so much credit. Then you also look at his tournament, the AKA Grand Nationals, which I think has gone down as the longest running tournament. Yeah. And now I don't think he was the original promoter of it. I think he took it over.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah. But
I think he's too young to
But the
have
first
that physically be possible.
And really, when I was coming up, his father.
Oh, his father was the original.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
that's
pretty
cool.
So when I was coming up, John Valero's my competition coach.
Word.
Mike was, his biggest rival as kids, and I knew John Sharkey was his instructor. The first Smash magazine. All right, so before there was Sport Karate magazine, it was called Smash.
Yeah,
Boys
we've talked about that.
It was PKL, NASCA, NBL. He covered all 3 leagues, right? I saw a picture of John Sharkey doing like his form and doing air guitar during his form. And I was just like, this guy's cool.
What?
Now, I saw one short little clip of this on, of him competing, of him just doing this crazy stuff, man. And I would love to see more of him competing, like doing these crazy forms and doing this fun stuff. And, so for him to do that, I'm like, all right, this guy's got something. He's got a kind of a personality. When you meet John, he's a whole different cat, man. You have to really know John Sharkey to really know John Sharkey. But, just as
he's
far as
super cool to hang with.
He was
super
a great,
cool to talk to.
fun competitor. But, man, just an amazing coach. And just the legacy that he has done. I mean, you got to give him so much credit for how not only has he – because someone of that age, you would probably put as, oh, man, he's a has-been and he doesn't get it. He doesn't do this or that. But he gets it if he has a team in Korea doing tours, and he has his team
Can't believe that. Going
over and doing tours for our U.S. Army and Marines and all, Air Force and all this. So this guy has done it, and people need to give him so much credit, for that. So it's pretty cool, man.
So ironically enough, I was talking about John Sharkey today.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody. I'll tell you right now. I was talking to Dwan Brown. We were just talking. We just talked about everything. Our phone conversation got cut short, shorter than it would have because I had kids who were running and screaming.
Right.
I said I'll call back. I'll call you back, Dwan. I promise. All right. And so we were just talking about some of the struggles in martial arts from owners and also tournament directors. And one of the things that we were talking about that he was so great at is he's such a good delegator that he doesn't overstress himself.
Correct.
He doesn't try to do more than he should be doing. He doesn't insert himself.
He's always had a great team around him.
Exactly. But he creates that team.
Yep.
And then lets that team run with it.
Yep. Yep. That's something all of us need to learn to do better.
Right.
So I've had a conversation with him about that, and he's great at that, man. So John Sharkey's my competitor of the week. Competitor / promoter / team owner / whatever, mentor, whatever you want to call him. So, but man, this was fun. We went places that we didn't even plan, which
we had no idea.
And I think that we ended up sharing some good stuff, man. Hopefully competitors, parents, karate school owners listen to what we say and apply it to what's going on because there's so much. And I even tell my story of like our stories of when we thought we might have like quit martial arts, and that's part of that whole struggle too. And I think maybe we'll get to that in another episode. But I've had fun, man.
I think this was a great one. It was great. Do you have anything? You have any big plans for this weekend?
No, I'm going to start preparing for my seminars over the next few weeks. Tomorrow I'm going to be babysitting my niece and nephew. So I'm going to be doing that. Let's see. a year and a half and 4.5, or well, about to turn 5. So it's going to be
Oh yeah,
fun.
you're gonna have diapers and temper tantrums, man.
So
I'll
I
tell
do
you what.
that for a few hours. Then I go and pick up my girlfriend's second child. So he's 15, and I'm gonna take him to the gym, and we're gonna work out. And then as soon as we get done with that, then I have about 7 classes in a row. So it's gonna be a fun one. And we might do a reaction show tomorrow. So I'm gonna try to get something set up with that. So get someone else on there to do a reaction show with me and or even if you want to, but we'll make it happen. I think we're gonna try to be doing these on Facebook Live, and that way you guys can share what you thought about the episode. And if you haven't heard about it yet, hopefully you will. So
leave some more reviews.
Yes.
Go on Apple Podcast. Give us a 5-star rating. Share, like, comment, share this with 15,
the biggest
20
thing
of your
though
friends.
is like write something down, like write a review. I'd rather you do that than even So
we've got a lot of good ratings.
Yep.
Right.
So we need some words.
Give us a review. Tell us what you think. Even if you say, Alex, you suck.
Alex, shut up. But I like you.
All right.
All right, buddy. Man, this was a fun one, man.
This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you next week, guys.